You're now watching a clip from the Inspired by show. You can watch the full episode on our YouTube channel or listen on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. So make sure to head over there, leave us a 5-star rating if you enjoyed it, and follow the show. You're, I think, the first professional boxer I've interviewed. I'm going to have to check that now that I've done these a year. But I've also interviewed other amateur boxers, ex-MMA fighters, athletes. And I've often been curious about someone from a professional boxing perspective on the non-professional boxing. So for example, like we're all aware of YouTube boxing, Misfits, KSI, Jake Paul. What's your views on YouTubers and sort of non-pros getting in the ring?
Non-pros, because you've got the unlicensed and things like that. So it's a lot of street lads that want to have a go. I think fair play, whatever. Most of them lads stay in their lane. They go under the radar, whatnot. You get a few egos, walk around. They're unlicensed, but they go, I'm a semi-professional. I'm a semi-professional boxer. There's no such thing. You're a professional, or you're amateur, or you're unlicensed. You know what I mean? But the other stuff, I think it's for nerds, man. It's for nerds. If I'm honest with you, like you get a few lads who are about it, who have seen a little gap in the market, who are actually, they're proper about it, and they're trying to make a few quid out of it. But most of them, man, like they're all like, I don't know, mate. It's like it's a strange world. Like, not for me. Is it for me? It's not really for me. It's not real fights. It's all hype. Some of it's cringy. I'm not a big lover of it, if I'm honest with you. With a lot of things, in this day and age. But I do understand, listen, people, it's hard times, right, for people. And today's, it's not like back in the day where, even with the things you got with the OnlyFans and men being men and things like that now, back in the day, yeah, it was a lot easier for a man to provide. Do you know what I mean? Like they could provide for the woman and things like that. But now, men ain't really. It's hard to find high value men now, to be honest with you, because they're all getting soft and pathetic. But it's harder for a man to keep, because of how the system's going and they're raising the prices, and it's hard. So now the system is just increasing stuff. So what do they want to do now? They want to make the woman work. Do you know what I mean? So now the man's paying tax and the woman's paying tax. And you got these women's doing OnlyFans going, yeah, but I make more money than the man. I'm doing this, but it's a mad world. It's a mad world. Do you know what I mean? And I can't really. It works in both ways. I get why the women are doing it. So I ain't a really big believer in OnlyFans, if I'm honest with you. I think it takes value away from the woman, if I'm honest with you. No high value man is ever going to want to see a woman, your own wife, seen naked or doing things with, in front of thousands of people, if I'm honest, all right? But I get it. They're on the hustle because they can't get a high value man who can give them a life that they want. So they've got to do this. But it's hard because then they go, oh yeah, but I'm making loads of money. But then it's kind of set them up to be a bit, not miserable, but their mental state going to be right when they're older, because when they get to 40, 50 years old and they're going, oh yeah, I've got loads of money. Do you think when you're 40, 50 years old, do you think a Louis Vuitton bag is going to make you happy? While your other friends have got kids and their grandkids are about and they've got a family, that's more important. Do you know what I mean? But I get it, because it's hard for men nowadays, because unless you're ducking and diving and you're making deals, you can give your wife and your woman the life, you can provide and take them on holiday and give them the life that they want. But if you're working 9 to 5, you're part of the system, then it's going to be hard. The women ain't going to really put up with it. A lot of them, they want to craft, they want money. Do you know what I mean? So it's hard.
Tough one,
it's a tough one. Do you know what I mean? Because I sometimes I slate the OnlyFans people, but I think to myself, I do get it, because it's hard. But then again, I'll go, the men who are subscribing to watch them, use the losers, to be honest with you. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah. But that's the thing. I think it's about what people value, right?
Yeah.
I would personally, and I've been asked outright on a podcast once, would I ever do OnlyFans for 2 million?
Yeah.
And I was like, no.
Yeah.
And that person was like, yeah, you would. And I was like, do you know what? I wouldn't, because I built my brand in a certain way. Could you imagine now? Sure, let me publish your book, but go on my OnlyFans. It's just not going to work. And I think a lot of people do love it. Everyone's different to what they enjoy.
Mate, I respect all. Yeah, listen, yeah. I'm not going, oh yeah, this, because you did it is what it is, yeah. But I just, for me, that's my personal opinion on it. Do you know what I mean? And everyone's allowed to have an opinion on anything. Well, you're not allowed to these days. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? But I'm just saying, like, that's my personal opinion on it. And I think, like, if you want to do that, then be ready for the backlash and what's going to come of it.
Exactly.
Because, like, you see it now, like, even now, today's society, so many people are lost because of social media and, you know, even with, like, the OnlyFans stuff, like, young girls are looking up to that. Like, it's not setting a great example, is it? Like, it's so, you know, they can go on about money this, money that, like, maybe do something else to find money. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But that's exactly why I'm always a bit unsure about the whole YouTube boxing thing and, like, the Misfits and the Jake Pauls, because what I've seen kids who have followed the YouTubers because they're always on their laptops or watching, and then they're now doing YouTube boxing, and then they're thinking, oh, maybe I should box.
Yeah.
The risk is, right, I mean, I've never been in a ring. You know what it's like. But how can someone go from being a face of a YouTube channel to then being in a ring? Like, I sometimes
It's just,
think,
you know what, a lot of
how do you
it's
get
just,
in
a lot of
there?
them is just nerds, man. To be honest with you, if I'm honest with you, like I said before, there's some lads that have seen it, they're going, all right, they're about it, you know what I mean? They come from the street, they're going, all right, they've got a bit of influence, they're jumping on it to make a few quid or whatever. I get it, but it's just two complete different stuff. Like, it's different. Like, being a proper professional boxer, man, you've come up as an amateur, you've done it the hard way. Do you know what I mean? With the YouTube stuff, you've sat behind a computer screen playing games and whatever you're doing, and you're getting funded by, I don't know how they make money, publishing, talking behind these games, and then you want to use it's mad. It baffles me, but it's where we live in today, isn't it? I suppose you've got to evolve with the time. Not for me. It's not really for me.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, like,
do you know what I find?
I've done it. It's different. Like, I've done it. Like, I had a influencer come to me to train her at the O2, AJ Bunker. She fought Elle Brooke. And I was like, do you know what? I was injured. I thought, do you know what? I just want to see what it's all about. And I was just sat there. I thought, this is freaking me out. Like, it's just the whole. It's just a different eyes. It's so different. But then again, people want to make money. They're jumping on that. Do you know what I mean? It's
do you know, I'd love to interview one of them just to see what goes through their minds. But I'm curious though, from your perspective, because I remember I was watching one of the Misfits fights, and I think it was Eddie Hearn was saying about how it's brought so much money into boxing, so much more visibility into boxing, because they have got big audiences.
Massive.
They've sold out and made mega bucks on the box office, whereas, you know, other professional fights haven't. Have you noticed it with your academy where more kids are interested in boxing?
Yes, yeah. Like, a lot of the kids, to be honest with you, that we work with, ain't really. They're more street kids.
Really?
So they're not really
watched all that sort of stuff. Yeah.
To be honest with you, they're actually real life, been through it, about it, understand that life's hard, and they're there, and we work with them. Do you know what I mean? They're not really behind a PlayStation, or they're actually pushed. They're just pushed out on the streets. Do you know what I mean? And that's where we come into play and help them and try to stop the knife crime from raising and things like that. So, but it's so hard, man, and like, it's so hard. I think it's so hard for the kids growing up now. Like, even with the phones and things like that, it's just like that's the worst thing. I always think be a content creator. Yeah, don't be a consumer. Otherwise, you're just going to lead you from astray. So, I mean, this is where mental health comes into play, because you're comparing yourself to these fake lives, and it's just you're stuck there. It's not going to have a life. Social media is the most antisocial thing you could ever be in. Do you know what I mean? Just use it for your own devices. Do you know what I mean? So, but yeah, you see it, like, I don't know. I'm like an old soul. Do you know what I mean? But it's hard. Like, I'm in the middle with a lot of things. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
I'm quite well rounded, and I see the ins and outs of everything. So,
how do you find it with building your brand? Because obviously, as you said earlier, being a boxer, you need to have a face, you need to be visible about it, and sell your brand as well to be able to, you know, do well in the sport.